Hey there, it's Jimmy again, and today we have a 1990 Oldsmobile 88 Royale Brougham. This is one of Oldsmobile's most popular products back in the 80s and early 90s. And well, I mean, the 88 was always a very popular product, one of their kind of standard bearers, I guess. And this is pretty late in its life. This is the second to last generation, but these were around for decades, or not this particular one, but the old 88. This is kind of cool because it's a 1990, so it's the facelifted version. Also used to be called the Delta 88, but it midway through its run from 86 to 91, it dropped the Delta name and just became the 88. And instead of having Delta 88 with the numbers 88, it then spelled out the 88. And so officially this is the Oldsmobile 88 Royale Brougham. So it's an H-body platform car, so it's the same as a Buick LeSabre of this generation, and also the Pontiac Bonneville. Front-wheel drive, obviously. Well, not obviously, but it is front-wheel drive. And a nice, big, roomy family sedan. Still, you know, kind of on the stodgy side, I guess. I mean, if you look at what else was available, the Ford Taurus was super swoopy at the time, and this is very rectilinear, almost Volvo-like in its shape. The Chrysler products at the time, though, were still pretty boxy. The LH cars, you know, the new, the Intrepid and so forth, hadn't been released yet. So this is sort of the end of the boxiness era at GM. And when the new the Olds 88 came out a couple years later, it was also much more rounded. But let's take a look at this. I mean, part of the facelift changed the rear lights. You now have these long elongated shapes that wrap around the trunk lid, license plate obviously in the middle, and just the Oldsmobile call out. You still have the rocket symbol here, which harkens back decades. And this is I guess this is relatively sporty looking. The white blacked out trim, or blackish out trim. There's still some chrome, but definitely much sportier, more Euro, I guess, in GM speak, even though it's not much really Euro about it. You did get a decent set of alloy wheels here, which are pretty nice. 15-inch, so 205/70 15 tires. It's nice. You still had the big door handles. I think the Buick used the exact same ones. Big chrome with a push button for the thumb, which is always nice. And then going around to the front, you had finally composite lights here, body color grille. Another Oldsmobile rocket logo was in there. Here it's missing, sadly. And the little Oldsmobile call out on the bottom. So this one's got a little bit of road rash on it, so it's definitely seen a few miles, but we'll go take a look at the inside also and check that out. So let's see what else. I mean, you got pretty good, interesting, or solid rub strips all around the fenders here. Definitely helps it avoid parking lot bruises and bumps. So that's a pretty practical touch. Fairly formal rear roof line, but at least it's not completely up and down. It's decent. It definitely helps the rear headroom. Let's take a look under the hood. There's ever only one engine available, two different versions of the Buick 3800, which obviously one of the best engines that GM's put out. There it is, fuel injected 3800. It's had some work done it here in 41322. Sadly, I guess it didn't keep, and that's why it's here in the junkyard. Although it's not obvious why it's in the junkyard. This one's quite complete, and it's been here for a couple of weeks now at least. But great engine, fantastic engine. Just torquey, smooth, excellent fuel economy, especially for quite a large V6. And yeah, very, very good. Generally well regarded, whatever GM put it into. Sound deadening on the hood, and I mean the hood struts still work, which is wonderful. Let me see what else there is. There's the build tag, and not much else under hood really to talk about. That's where the battery was, obviously. It's a very large couple of bottles here for engine coolant overflow and washer fluid, but easy to get to, which is always great. Oil right there. Check the engine oil right here. All pretty convenient. and the air filter would have been in there also. Simple to get to and to service. So let's walk around to the trunk first, and then we'll go to the inside. So fuel fillers here in the back left with a little receptacle to pop it in when you get gas. Trunk is roomy. This one came, looks like with 6x9 speakers. Somebody pulled the case off. These would have mounted just right below the rear deck. And then underneath here, spare tire, little space saver. And here, actually, here's all the option codes. So if somebody wants to look at and be interested, there you go. Nicely trimmed out, just, you know, regular kind of scruffy carpet type stuff with a mat here, but not bad. And then just, you know, white paint on the trunk lid. The VIN number is marked in most of the body panels for anti-theft purposes, which is always a good thing. And let's take a look inside. Actually, let's start up here. So this, just like all the H bodies they had an optional airbag, but most didn't get that back then. I did have these door mounted seat belts, which suck, because if the door happens to open when you crash, you're kind of screwed. GM says that they made extra strong door fastener devices, and it's less likely to open than other doors. I don't know if I trust that though. This one was built February 1990, and yeah, so like I always seem to find, the red interior vehicles seem to hold up the best, or are very well maintained. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's that red interiors are more commonly spec'd out by somebody rather than just being what a dealer would order for inventory. No idea. But they do tend to hold up very well. So here you had plush velour seats that still look good and feel great, powered with these old style GM chrome knobs. And then that's the backrest. Big headrest that goes up and down just on the little central pillar there. The headliner has the patented GM pillow top effect, where it's falling down until you put push pins in to hold it back up. This is something that's plagued GM for decades, but nowadays seems to have been fixed. This big sun visor is also in the red velour. And look, the plastics, like some old GM cars, the plastics somehow are discoloring. Not like this part would ever have seen any sunlight. Odd that it's losing its color though. But looking at the dashboard, well, the steering wheel's locked, so I can't turn it around, but you have the Rocket logo again. Horn buttons on the steering wheel, which is nice. The horizontal speedometer there. Mileage, let's take a look at this thing. How many miles are on this bad boy? 197,044 miles. Wow, that's pretty impressive, but for 3,800, that's probably about right. So you had the lights here. Not bad. The parking brake release was there, fuse box was in there, parking brakes there, hood release down here. And then over here, this is interesting, you had the fuel gauge, a voltmeter, oil pressure, and water temperature. So pretty complete set of gauges, not bad for an Oldsmobile. And then obviously the big 88 call out there. Not sure if that was an option. Maybe something else could have gone up there. I'm not quite sure what though. Maybe somebody knows and can leave a comment. And then here's the electronic climate control, which again, I guess you can figure it out by touch, but you definitely have to look down to do it. And then the radio, the old Delco radio, is down there on the bottom, which is always nice. Brushed aluminum on the dashboard here with Oldsmobile, which is nice. And then the kind of faux stitching along the top here in the molded red but soft panel. And then glove box here, someone took the latch, so it's why it stays open. But like many GM cars, you had the power trunk release here, which was always great. Passenger seats, much like the driver's seat, basically. And then you had this nice big armrest that folds up and can be opened for cassette storage in this case, or other stuff. Then let's see, we also have a back seat. Obviously, back seat is quite spacious, no rear head restraints. Got a little parcel shelf, and there's the third brake light. The door panel's nice. You have these big or easy to grab pull handles. Remember these locks that lock, it would just thunk, thunk to lock and unlock. Chromed release. Power window buttons, chrome on the door panel. But in here you have a lot of space. Let's see, this is not bad at all. I have plenty of leg room here, tons of headroom, pretty good view out. There's a better view of the front. Yeah, this is pretty comfortable. I mean, to go on a road trip in this car would not have been a terrible venture. These rode well, were quick, quiet, composed, and yeah, overall we're a solid car. Still kind of your father's Oldsmobile, but not too bad at all. So anyway, if you liked what you saw, please do hit subscribe and like, and if you have comments, please leave those below. And we'll keep making these. We do videos of all kinds of cars, trucks, vans from all over the world that we find in the junkyard in various states of disrepair. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.